Hey everybody, it's Innovision, and today I'm going to tell you the truth about the new Xbox Ally X. To guide our discussion here today, I've developed my very own Innovision 5-point rating system, and we're going to be using this system going forward to help critique future devices and hardware. I'm working on a performance review for the Xbox Ally X as a follow-up video to this one, but keep in mind videos like these are meant to look at a product holistically. By the end of this video, you'll know the things that the Xbox Ally X does well as a product, some of its shortcomings, and whether or not this device makes sense for you. Stick around because you don't want to miss any of it. As we get started, I'd like to go over our 5-point rating system. The first category is the unique features of the product. Then we've got the hardware, software, the build quality, and the overall value. So when we talk about the unique features of a device, we're not trying to compare it to other devices out there. Rather, we're trying to hone in on the unique things that this device implements and how well it implements those features. When it comes to unique features that sets the Xbox Ally devices apart, it's the ergonomic design, and I would say that's the crown jewel of this device. The immediate thing that you notice when you hold this device is the Xbox style controller and grip handles. It gives the device a very easy feel when you're holding it. You can hold it one-handed very easily. It's got a very even weight distribution. Another neat thing, the screen comes with a slight tilt in it to give it a more ergonomic viewing angle, especially if you're holding the device and kind of looking down and your neck's tilted down. And that's immediately noticeable, especially if I was just finished using my original Ally and I come to this one. It actually helps with the screen quality because this is a smaller screen compared to several other devices out there. And so that tilt in the viewing angle does actually help with the picture quality, and it adds a little bit more immersiveness to the gameplay experience. And the last thing I want to call out in terms of ergonomics are these impulse triggers. They feel very satisfying to hold. Like when you're holding them or pressing them, they feel amazing. And then you'll even notice we've got a dedicated Xbox button here now. You know, given that the Xbox full screen experience is not unique to the Xbox Ally devices, I'm not considering that when I talk about the unique features category. In fact, that's going to lean more into the software category. So here, the real unique features are that ergonomic design. And Asus and Microsoft, they completely nailed it. I would have to give it 5 out of 5 in this category. Next up, I'd like to discuss the Xbox Ally X hardware. So in terms of hardware, the Xbox Ally X is the first mainstream handheld that ships with the Z2 Extreme APU in the United States. So that's a huge win for any gamer out there that's been on the fence about whether or not to get a handheld in the first place. It does ship with only 24 gigs of RAM. It's got a 1 terabyte solid state drive, 2 top-facing USB Type-C ports, but it does have a best-in-class set of front-firing speakers. As you play the device and you're listening to the sounds coming out of it, the audio quality is phenomenal. Now, I do notice some differences in the audio quality if I'm using Bazzite, for example. There's definitely some audio tuning profile that's happening in Windows that gives it enhanced audio. The other amazing thing that the Xbox Ally brings to the table here is an 80 watt-hour battery. When you couple that with the fact that the Z2 Extreme APU has performance cores that require less power to run them, and you've got more power to feed to the GPU, this bigger battery leads to longer lasting, more immersive gameplay sessions. Aside from the limited memory here, there's 2 other things I have to dock the hardware category on. That's the fact that it's using the same screen as the original Ally devices, and the Xbox Ally does not include Hall effect joysticks. It's like, what gives? Trying to end it on a good note here, it has an enhanced cooling system. This thing is whisper quiet, and at 17 watt TDP, I'm getting the same or better frame rates that I would at much higher TDP settings on my Z1 Extreme APUs. The cooling system comes in and saves the overall hardware category, and it's for that reason I give the Xbox Ally 4 out of 5 stars in terms of hardware. Now, you know we can't have hardware without software. And so the Xbox Ally X is the first device to ship with the Xbox full screen experience. I have several videos on the channel showcasing that experience on handhelds that aren't expected to ship with the experience until spring of next year. For example, we took a look at it on the Lenovo Legion Go. Overall, my impressions and critiques of the software still remain the same, even with the final version that shipped with the Xbox Ally. Now, my hope was that the Xbox Ally would actually have a more polished version of that experience, but overall, I feel like the full screen gaming experience has been shoehorned into the Windows operating system. So when you get this device, it ships with Windows 11, and if you have it all set up correctly, one thing that's nice is you can use the fingerprint reader to log in, and as soon as you log in, you're greeted with the Xbox full screen experience. It does take a little while to load. I've got my performance counter on the right hand side there. Yeah, it's getting constant updates, which that's a good thing. So if you swipe up from the bottom of the screen, you get this option, Show Windows Desktop. Once you click into that, all the processes that have been suppressed from loading to keep the amount of memory available for the Xbox app will now be used. And so to get a more optimized experience, you'd have to reboot at that point. But you can switch through your windows here just by pressing on your controller. Look at that. So I'm launching a game from Steam. Now I'm having to wait for Steam to load. I've got all these windows popping up everywhere. I have no visibility into how far along my game has loaded until this window pops up here. And okay, so now I'm in my game, but it just feels kind of tacky and incomplete. This experience is still very rough around the edges, random frame drops. That's the thing that irks me the most. Like you're just cruising along, you're enjoying your game, and then the game randomly has this like frame dip. Look at that. That was quite the stutter. You can see the dip in the frame rate graph. This is just a video cutscene playing back. Notice the dips here. And the almost like stutters or like pauses. And look at that, because I haven't been touching the screen or using the device, it just shut down. Now I've got to turn it back on, log back in, and this is where the weird stuff starts happening in terms of the Windows gaming experience. Look at that. The stability is terrible here, even with the highest TDP setting. While the Xbox full screen experience is like 10 steps forward in the right direction, I still can't help but feel every time I use it, I'm really getting immersed into my game and then enjoying my gaming experience, and then I have to switch games. I'm quickly jolted back into the reality that this experience just feels like it's been shoehorned into Windows 11. And it's for that reason I have to give software on the Xbox Ally a 3 out of 5. So next category is the build quality. This one leaves something to be desired. The case on the Xbox Ally just feels very cheap. And I noticed this change to a cheaper material since Asus started shipping the Ally X. To be quite honest with you, when I was taking it apart to install a new SSD, I was very careful and worried because the plastic felt cheap and brittle. It just feels like a toy. I found that having this pry tool made life a lot easier. All right. Other devices out there have a much better build quality, and I would expect a better build quality for the asking price of this device. And for that reason, I would have to give it 3 out of 5 stars. Now, one thing you might notice is this dock I have here. This is my own custom 3D printed dock for the Xbox Ally devices. There's not too many options out there. There's one that Best Buy has that's like over $100, and that's just ridiculous. So I'm starting to tinker and dabble into 3D printed docks and peripherals. We'll definitely be posting more videos around that later. So while we're on the topic of accessories here, typically when a device is new, it's harder to find peripherals and accessories for it. And so that's why I opted to 3D print a dock. Now this leads me into the discussion on the value of the Xbox Ally. It does not come with a carrying case. And for the asking price, I would expect it to come with the carrying case. We've seen that with the original Legion Go. My understanding is that Legion Go 2 will also ship with its own carrying case. In order to buy the the first party Asus carrying case for this device, that's another $70 that you have to now factor into the cost of ownership that wasn't part of the cost the day you picked it up. And so that's a little bit disheartening for the price point here. Given that there are other Z2 Extreme powered devices that are going to ship with 32 gigs of RAM, the fact that the Xbox Ally X uses the same screen as the OG Ally, and we have to buy our own carrying case, it's for that reason I have to give it 4 out of 5 stars in terms of value. If we take the average across all 5 of our categories, the unique features, the hardware, the software, the build quality, and the value, the Xbox Ally comes out to a 3.8 out of 5 stars. It's not terrible, but I would consider 4 to be good. And so it's just like right at the cusp of being good. If it was $100 cheaper, or they added more memory, or the software experience was better, then I could give it a solid 4 out of 5 stars. And so my recommendation is, if you're a gamer who doesn't have any of these devices and you've been on the fence about getting it and your budget allows, I would recommend it in that case. But if you're somebody who already has pre-existing devices, I can't recommend it. I would say I would wait until it's a more polished experience, wait until maybe it ships with at least a 2 terabyte solid state drive. At any rate, who out there does have the Xbox Ally? Who's having a wonderful time with it? Or who has it and is disappointed with it? Who out there is waiting for the Legion Go 2? Me personally, that's the device I'm most excited about. I'm pretty sure it's not going to get 5 out of 5 stars either, but I'm really excited about the OLED screen. I'm actually working on performance videos comparing the performance under Windows and Bazzite for the Xbox Ally. And for what I'm seeing a pretty decent performance bump in games like Elden Ring that I've played regularly. And so I'm really hyped to see the Z2 Extreme APU with the OLED screen on the Legion Go 2. I can't wait. So mine's supposed to ship by Halloween, and it's probably going to take a few more days to get to me. As soon as I get it, I'm going to be taking it apart, putting a new solid state drive in there and updating the software. I can't wait to share it with everybody. Be sure to hit the like button on the video. Be sure to hype it up, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss all the amazing toys and gaming tips we've got coming down the pipeline.